Captain Do-Yun Kim stood on the bridge of the Dauntless Asterisk, his eyes fixed on the main screen. His ship, the pride of Earth's small space fleet, now seemed like a toy next to what they were facing. "Sir, the alien vessel is over 3 kilometers long," reported Officer Gina, her voice steady despite her white knuckles on the console. "Any response to our greeting?" Do-Yun asked. "None, Captain," said Communications Officer Haru. "We've sent it in all known formats." The Dauntless Asterisk had been mapping the outer edges of human space when their sensors picked up the massive object. At first, they thought it was a small moon. Then it changed course. The alien ship was beautiful in a cold way. Its hull gleamed like polished metal, with strange blue lights pulsing along its length. It had no visible engines, yet moved with a grace that seemed impossible for its size. "They're scanning us," said Haru. "Very deep scans. They can probably count the hairs on our heads." Do-Yun nodded. "Let them look. We have nothing to hide." A sudden flash of light made everyone shield their eyes. When they looked back, a new image filled the screen. The aliens. They looked almost like tall, thin humans, but with gray-blue skin and 4 eyes set in a diamond pattern. Their clothing seemed to shift colors as they moved. "I am Grand Admiral Vexthor of the Telosian Empire," said the tallest alien in perfect English. "You have entered space claimed by our people for 10,000 years." Do-Yun stepped forward. "I am Captain Do-Yun Kim of Earth's ship Dauntless Asterisk. We come in peace and seek friendship." The alien made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Friendship? Your species has barely left its cradle. Your ship's technology is." He seemed to search for a word. "Quaint." "We may be new to the stars, but we learn quickly," Do-Yun said. "Do you?" Vexthor tilted his head. "Your vessel uses simple fusion drives. We mastered those 8,000 years ago." Do-Yun noticed something interesting. Despite their advanced technology, the 5 aliens in view stood in a rigid formation. When a small alert sounded on their side, none reacted until the one with the most decorated uniform nodded to a lower-ranked alien. "With respect, Admiral," Do-Yun said, "age does not always equal wisdom. Sometimes fresh eyes see things differently." This seemed to amuse Vexthor. "You have spirit, Captain. Unusual. Most species respond with fear when they first meet us. Humans are known for being unusual." Do-Yun smiled. The alien commander studied him. "The Telosian Empire spans 300 star systems. We have brought order and progress to dozens of species. Some resisted at first. None do now." The threat was clear, but Do-Yun kept his face calm. "We look forward to learning about your culture and sharing ours." "Yes, you will learn much from us," said Vexthor. "We will contact your world leaders soon. The Empire always does things properly." After the transmission ended, the bridge was silent until Executive Officer Sumo spoke. "They didn't even ask about us." "Not really. Just showed off." "Did you notice how they moved?" Do-Yun asked. "How they needed permission for everything." Gina nodded. "Like robots following a program." "They have protocols for first contact," Do-Yun said. "Probably for everything. 10,000 years of doing things the same way." "Their technology is amazing," said Haru. "We don't stand a chance if they decide to attack." Do-Yun turned to his crew. "Technology isn't everything. They see us as children." "That's good. People underestimate children." "What do we do, Captain?" asked Sumo. "We go home," said Do-Yun. "Fast. Earth needs to prepare. The Telosians have an empire because they follow the same patterns that worked for millennia." He smiled slightly. "But humans, we break patterns. We adapt. We survive." As the Dauntless Asterisk turned toward home, the massive alien ship didn't follow. They didn't consider one small human vessel worth their time. That was their first mistake. 3 months after the Dauntless Asterisk returned to Earth with news of the alien encounter, The sky over every major city lit up with strange lights. The Telosians had arrived. Their ships hovered like silver mountains above the clouds. People looked up in fear and wonder as smaller vessels descended toward the United Earth Government headquarters in Seoul. Inside the Grand Meeting Hall, Ambassador Ju Park waited with the Earth Council. At 55, Ju had handled many tough talks with Mars and the Moon colonies, but nothing like this. "They're here," said President Tayo. "Remember, we need time." The doors opened. 5 Telosians walked in, moving in perfect step with each other. Their leader wore a robe that seemed to be made of liquid metal. "I am High Envoy Malvik of the Telosian Empire," the alien said. "We bring greetings from Grand Admiral Vexthor." Ju stepped forward. "Welcome to Earth. I am Ambassador Park. We hope for peaceful." "We are not here to negotiate." Malvik cut her off. "We are here to inform." The alien placed a small device on the table. It projected a 3D image of the galaxy with thousands of stars marked in blue. "This is the Telosian Empire," said Malvik. "Your solar system is here." A tiny dot flashed red at the edge of the blue area. "You are now being offered protected status within our domain." "What does protected status mean?" asked Ju. "It means you will enjoy the benefits of Telosian rule. Your people will serve in roles suited to your abilities. Your resources will contribute to the greater good of the Empire. In return, you receive our protection and guidance." President Tayo frowned. "That sounds like you want to make us your servants." The alien's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "A crude way to put it. We prefer to think of it as bringing order to chaos. Your species is young and prone to conflict. We offer stability." "We need time to consider this offer," said Ju. "You have 1 Earth month," said Malvik. "This is generous. Most species are given days." After the aliens left, the council erupted in angry talk. Colonel Taehyun Choi, head of Earth's defense forces, called for silence. "Let's be clear," he said. "This isn't an offer. It's a demand with a polite face." "Can we fight them?" asked someone. Taehyun brought up images of the Telosian ships. "Their smallest ship has more firepower than our entire fleet. They've been in space for 10,000 years. We've barely been here for 200. "So we surrender?" President Tayo asked. "No," said Taehyun, "but we need to be smart. I've studied the scans from the Dauntless Asterisk. The Telosians are advanced, but they're not changing. Their ships use the same designs they've had for centuries. No innovation." Ju nodded. "I noticed something too. They didn't ask questions about us. Not our culture, not our history. Nothing. They don't think we have anything to offer." "That's their weakness," said Taehyun. "They're so sure they're superior that they won't look closely at us. We need to use that." "What do you suggest?" asked the president. "We tell them we're considering their offer. Ask for more time. Meanwhile, we prepare." "Prepare how?" Ju asked. "You said we can't fight them." "Not directly," said Taehyun. "But humans have always been good at finding unexpected ways to win. We don't need to match their strength. We need to use their weaknesses against them." "And if that doesn't work?" asked President Tayo. Taehyun's face was grim. "Then at least we go down fighting instead of living as slaves." The council voted to stall for time. They would ask for 6 months to consider the Telosians' generous offer. That night, Colonel Taehyun met with Captain Dohyun in a secure room. "We need to start preparing now," said Taehyun. "Secret bases on Mars and Europa, hidden weapons factories. And most importantly, we need to understand their technology." "You're talking about stealing it," said Dohyun. "I'm talking about surviving," Taehyun replied. "The Telosians won't expect resistance. That's our only advantage." Dohyun nodded. "When do we start?" "We already have," said Taehyun, showing him plans for a secret mission. "The Telosians have empires. We have grit. Let's see which one wins. 6 months had passed since the Telosians delivered their ultimatum. Earth had asked for more time twice, and the aliens had grown impatient. Today, they would get their answer. Commander Haijin Kang checked her flight systems one last time. Her small squadron of 12 ships waited in the shadow of Mars, hidden from Telosian sensors. All pilots report ready, her second-in-command Dongan said through the comm. Haijin took a deep breath. Remember the mission. We're not trying to win. We just need data. The Telosian delegation had arrived at Earth again, this time with 20 massive warships. Their message was clear. No more delays. In the Seoul meeting hall, Ambassador Juwu faced High Envoy Malavik again. Your time is ended, the alien said. What is Earth's answer? Juwu stood tall. We thank the Telosian Empire for its offer. However, Earth must respectfully decline. The 4 eyes of Malavik widened slightly. You decline. No species has declined in 800 years. We wish to remain independent, said Juwu. We hope we can still have peaceful relations. This is most unfortunate, said Malavik. The Empire does not take rejection well. There will be a demonstration off. An aide rushed in and whispered to Malavik. The alien's skin darkened with what looked like anger. You attack our ships while talking of peace, he hissed. This is the behavior we expect from primitive species. On the main view screen, everyone could see what was happening in orbit. Haijin's squadron had appeared seemingly from nowhere and was attacking the Telosian fleet. The tiny human ships looked like flies buzzing around giants. Their weapons barely left marks on the massive alien vessels. That attack is not our doing, lied President Tayo. Those must be independent fighters. It does not matter, said Malavik. They will be destroyed. In space, Haijin's ship shook as a Telosian energy beam grazed her shields. Target the 3rd ship from the left, she ordered. Focus scanners on their shield frequency. Her squadron moved in a pattern they had practiced hundreds of times. Each ship attacked briefly, then pulled back, their advanced sensors recording everything about the Telosian responses. Commander, we've lost fighters 3 and 7, reported Dongman. Shields failing on fighters 5, 8, and 11. Haijin watched her data screen. They were getting good information, but at a terrible cost. 10 more seconds, she said. We need the weapons data. A huge blast rocked her ship, throwing her against her restraints. That's it, shouted her sensor officer. We've got full readings on their targeting systems. All ships, retreat pattern Delta, ordered Haijin. The surviving fighters scattered in different directions, using Mars and nearby asteroids for cover. The Telosian ships, so powerful yet so slow to change course, couldn't follow all of them. On Earth, Malvik's skin had turned almost black with rage. You will regret this defiance, he said. Watch your screens. The largest Telosian warship fired a beam at Earth. It struck a small island in the Pacific Ocean, one that had been evacuated days before. The island simply vanished, leaving only steam and waves. That was uninhabited, said Malvik. Next time, we will not be so selective. You have 1 week to reconsider. After the aliens left, Colonel Taehyun rushed into the room. Did Haijin's team succeed? He asked. President Taho nodded grimly. 5 ships lost, but they got the data. And the Telosians did exactly what we expected, said Juwu. They destroy the empty island we leaked in our communications. In her damaged ship limping back to a hidden base on Europa, Haijin reviewed the data they had collected. Despite the lives lost, she smiled. We have their shield frequencies, weapons patterns, and response times, she told her surviving crew. They're powerful but predictable. They fight by the book, a book they've used for thousands of years. Will it be enough? Asked Dongman. No, said Haijin. But it's a start. Humans have always been good at doing the impossible when our backs are against the wall. As her ship docked at the secret base, Earth began preparing for what would come next. The real resistance was just beginning. The week passed, And Earth's answer remained the same. No. The Telosians began their attack, but something strange happened. They couldn't find important targets. How is this possible? Demanded Sub-Commander Zevler in the Telosian command ship. Our scans showed military bases here and here. He pointed to empty lands on the screen. The humans must have moved them, said his aide. In 1 week? Impossible. What the Telosians didn't know was that Earth had been preparing for months. Human cities now had special covers that fooled Telosian sensors. Major bases were hidden underground or moved to the far side of the moon. In a secret lab beneath the old Seoul subway, engineer Jinwoo Lee worked with a team of scientists. At 32, he had been the top stealth technology designer for the Earth Defense Force. The aliens rely too much on their tech, Jinwoo told his team. They think if their sensors can't see it, it doesn't exist. He showed them his newest creation. It looked like normal paint, but it bent light and absorbed radar in ways that confused Telosian scanners. Paint this on a ship, and to their systems, it looks like space junk, he explained. Across the solar system, humans were fighting back in their own way. They couldn't win big battles, so they didn't try. Captain Minja Ryu led a team of 30 Special Forces soldiers on a mission to a Telosian supply depot near Saturn. Their 5 small ships looked like rocks to the alien sensors. Remember, Minja told his team, we hit fast and get out faster. No heroes today. They approached the depot, which was guarded by 1 medium-sized warship. Look at that, said Sergeant Yuna. 1 ship. They're not expecting trouble way out here. Minjae nodded. That's why we're bringing it to them. Their ships released small drones that attached to the depot's outer hull. Meanwhile, 2 of Minjae's team hacked into the depot's communication system. They're asking for the daily code, whispered Technician Chuno. Send the one we got from last week's raid, said Minja. The code worked. The Telosians, never expecting humans to use their own codes against them, didn't check closely enough. While the guards were distracted by false alarms on one side of the depot, Minjae's team slipped in through a maintenance hatch. They planted bombs in the fuel storage area and took samples of new Telosian technology. 2 minutes until their system resets, warned Chuno. Move out, ordered Minja. They were back in their ships and hiding behind a moon of Saturn when the depot exploded. The Telosian guard ship rushed to help, but it was too late. Similar attacks happened all across the solar system. Humans never fought where the Telosians were strong. They struck at weak points, stole what they needed, and disappeared. In the Telosian command ship, Grand Admiral Vexthor received the reports with growing anger. This is not how lesser species behave, he said. They should either fight properly or surrender. Sir, said Zevler, the humans don't follow any of the standard combat doctrines in our database. Then make a new one, snapped Vexthor. But that was the problem. The Telosian military hadn't created new doctrines in centuries. Their command structure required months to approve changes, and officers needed permission for any non-standard action. Meanwhile, human fighters operated with simple orders: adapt, improvise, overcome. Colonel Taehyun met with the Earth Council to report on the resistance. We've destroyed 12 supply depots, damaged 3 warships, and stolen enough technology to help our research, he said. Most importantly, we've confused them. But they still control most of the system, said President Tayo. Yes, said Taehyun, but they don't know what to do about us. Their rigid command structure is working against them. Each of our team leaders can make decisions on the spot, while their officers wait for orders. How long can we keep this up? Asked Zhuwu. Long enough, said Taehyun with a small smile. Dr. Suman has made a breakthrough with the alien tech we captured. And you know what they say, give humans even half a chance, and we'll take the whole thing. Dr. Suman Yoon hadn't slept properly in 3 days. Her lab, hidden deep within the mountains of what used to be New Zealand, was filled with pieces of Telosian technology, collected by Minja's teams during their raids. Each piece was a puzzle waiting to be solved. "More coffee?" asked her assistant Daeyeon. Suman nodded without looking up from the alien power core she was studying. "They've used the same design for hundreds of years," she said. "But why?" At 45, Suman had been Earth's leading quantum physicist before the aliens came. Now she led the team trying to understand Telosian technology. "It works perfectly," said Daeyeon, looking at the power core. "Why change something that works?" "Because it could work better," Suman replied. She pointed to a part of the core. "See this? It's a safety system that limits the power output. Remove it, add our phase shift technology, and—" She made some adjustments, and the core glowed brighter. The energy readings doubled. "They never tried this because it wasn't in their manual," she said with a smile. "They follow rules. We break them." Across the lab, other scientists were making similar discoveries. The Telosians had advanced technology, but they used it in fixed ways. Humans looked at it with fresh eyes and found new possibilities. By combining Telosian power systems with human innovation, Suman's team created weapons that could actually hurt the alien ships. They also made better shields and faster engines for Earth's growing fleet. Meanwhile, in a different secret base under Old Tokyo, intelligence officer Yuna Kwan made her own breakthrough. "Their entire network is built on authority, not security," she told her team of hackers. "Each command must come from a recognized superior." "So if we can pretend to be a superior," said one of her hackers. "Exactly," Yumha smiled. "Their system checks for rank, not for the actual identity. It's like they never expected anyone to lie." Yumha had been a cybersecurity expert before the invasion. Now she used those skills to break into Telosian systems. Her team created fake Telosian command codes. When sent to alien ships, these codes looked like orders from superiors. The Telosians, trained to obey without question, followed them. 1 month later, Colonel Taehyun met with Captain Dohyun and the other resistance leaders. "Thanks to Dr. Suman, we now have weapons that can damage their ships," Taehyun said. "And Yunha's team can disrupt their communications." "It's still not enough," said Dohyun. "They have thousands of ships. We have hundreds, even counting the new ones we've built in the asteroid belt." "We don't need to match them ship for ship," said Taehyun. "We just need to make them think twice about attacking us." He showed them plans for a new operation. "The Telosians are gathering a large fleet near Luna, our moon. They plan to launch a major attack on Earth from there. We're going to hit them first." "That's suicide," someone said, "even with our new technology." "No," said Dohyun, studying the plans. "It's crazy, but it might work. The moon gives us advantages they won't expect." In the Telosian command ship, Grand Admiral Vexthor was growing frustrated. "How are these humans causing so much trouble?" he demanded. "They are primitives." "They are unpredictable," said his science officer. "They combine technologies in ways our manuals don't cover. They ignore proper protocols." "Then we will crush them with overwhelming force," said Vexthor. "Gather our fleet at their moon. We will end this resistance with one massive strike." What Vexthor didn't know was that humans had been preparing for this moment. Under the surface of the moon, they had built weapon platforms. In orbit, disguised as space junk, hundreds of small fighters waited. And most importantly, humans had learned to think like Telosians, to predict their rigid tactics, while the Telosians still couldn't understand human creativity. The Battle of Luna was about to begin, and it would change everything. Admiral Jae-hyuk Song stood on the bridge of the Earth vessel Defiance *. At 60, he was the oldest fleet commander humanity had. His white hair and calm eyes showed his experience. "Telosian fleet approaching Luna, sir," reported his sensor officer. 112 ships, mostly heavy warships." Jae-hyuk nodded. "And we have 78 ships and 200 fighters. Admiral." On paper, it was a hopeless fight. The Telosian ships were bigger, with better weapons and stronger shields. But Jaehyuk had a plan that no Telosian would expect. "Begin Operation Thunderstorm," he ordered. Across the dark side of the moon, hidden human bases activated. On the surface, what looked like ordinary craters opened to reveal massive guns. In orbit, ships that appeared to be broken debris suddenly came to life. The Telosian fleet, arranged in a perfect attack formation, moved toward Earth. They didn't scan the moon carefully. Why would they? It was just a dead rock. That was their mistake. "Fire the gravity disruptors," ordered Jaehyuk. Dr. Suman's modified Telosian technology had created devices that could briefly increase gravity in small areas. As these activated around the moon, they pulled the perfect Telosian formation apart. "Now the surface batteries," said Jaehyuk. The hidden guns on the moon fired upward. They didn't aim at the ship's hulls, which were too strong. Instead, they targeted the engines and sensors, using data from previous attacks to find weak spots. In the Telosian command ship, Grand Admiral Vexthor was shocked. "How did they hide these weapons?" he demanded. "Reform the fleet into Defense Pattern 3. But the Telosian ships, now being pulled in different directions by the gravity weapons, couldn't form up properly, and the human fleet attacked from multiple directions at once, not following any pattern the Telosians recognized. "Sir, we've lost contact with the 5th Division," reported a Telosian officer. "Human ships are using our own command codes." This was Yunha's work. Her team had hacked into the Telosian communication system and was sending false orders, creating confusion. Admiral Jaehyuk watched the battle from his command center. "Group 2, target their flagship," he ordered. "Group 3, use the moon's gravity to slingshot behind their left flank." Unlike the Telosians, each human ship captain could make decisions without waiting for orders. When they saw opportunities, they took them immediately. A massive explosion lit up space as one of the largest Telosian ships was hit in its power core. The blast damaged 2 nearby alien vessels. "They're adjusting," warned Jaehyuk's second-in-command, changing their tactics. "Then so will we," said Jaehyuk. All ships switched to Plan Delta. The human fleet scattered, some hiding in the moon's shadow, others diving toward the Telosian center. What looked like retreat was actually a trap. "Now," ordered Jaehyuk. Hidden missiles launched from the moon's surface, not targeting the Telosian ships, but the space in front of them. The missiles exploded, creating clouds of special metal dust that blocked Telosian sensors. Blinded, the alien ships fired at shadows, while human vessels struck from unexpected angles. After 3 hours of fighting, Jaehyuk gave the order to retreat. The human fleet pulled back to Earth, leaving many damaged Telosian ships around the moon. "We lost 32 ships," reported his aide, "but they lost 27, and many more are damaged." For the first time, humans had fought the Telosians directly and hurt them badly. In the Telosian command ship, Vexthor couldn't believe the reports. "How did these primitives do this?" he asked. "We outnumbered them. Our technology is superior." "They did not fight according to any known tactics," said his strategic officer. "They used the moon itself as a weapon. They changed plans in the middle of battle without clear orders." Vexthor stared at the image of Earth on his screen. "These humans are more dangerous than we thought," he said. "We need a new approach." What he didn't know was that humans were already planning their next move, one that would strike at the heart of the Telosian command itself. Lieutenant Subin Cho checked her disguise one more time. The holographic projector made her look exactly like a Telosian maintenance worker. It wasn't comfortable, but it would keep her alive. "How do I look?" she asked her team. "Like an ugly alien," said tech specialist Ji-Hoon Park with a small smile. At 25, he was the youngest member of the team, but also the best computer expert Earth had. Their mission was the most dangerous yet: infiltrate a Telosian command vessel and plant Ji-Hoon's special virus in their network. Colonel Taehyun briefed them one last time in the small ship taking them to their target. "The Telosians are still repairing their fleet after Luna," he said. They're bringing in maintenance crews from all over. You'll blend in with them. If we're caught, asked Subin. Then make sure the data chip is destroyed, said Taeyeon. That virus is our best hope. Their ship approached the massive Telosian repair station near Jupiter. It was disguised as a supply transport, using codes stolen in previous raids. Telosian Station, this is Transport 447 with maintenance crew, said their pilot, requesting docking. After a tense minute, the station replied, Transport 447, you are cleared to dock at Bay 12. The 5-person team moved through the station, careful to copy Telosian walking patterns. They had studied the aliens for months, learning their habits and mannerisms. Remember, don't talk unless necessary, whispered Subin. Our translators might not fool them up close. They passed several real Telosians who barely looked at them. The aliens were so used to their strict hierarchy that they didn't question anyone who appeared to be in the right uniform. They reached the command vessel connected to the station. It was huge, nearly 2 kilometers long, with hundreds of crew members. Maintenance access is this way, said Ji-hoon, looking at the stolen ship plans on his hidden screen. They entered the ship through a service tunnel. Inside, they split up. Subin and Ji-hoon headed for the main computer core, while the others created small distractions in different parts of the ship. Security checkpoint ahead, warned Ji-hoon. 2 Telosian guards stood at the entrance to the computer section. Subin handed them a tablet with fake repair orders. One guard looked at it carefully. This authorization is from yesterday, he said. Subin's heart raced. Yes, sir. We were delayed at the station. The supervisor said to proceed anyway. The guard hesitated. In the Telosian world, schedules were sacred, but so was following the superior's orders. Very well, he finally said. But be quick. Inside the computer room, Ji-hoon moved fast. He connected his device to the Telosian network and began uploading his virus. How long? Asked Subin, watching the door. 3 minutes, said Ji-hoon. This system is complex, but exactly as our intelligence reported. No surprises. That was the weakness of the Telosians. They never changed anything unless absolutely necessary. Their computer systems had been the same for centuries. Ji-hoon's virus wasn't designed to destroy their network. That would be detected and fixed quickly. Instead, it would slowly alter information passing through the system. Battle reports would show slightly wrong numbers. Orders would be delayed by seconds or minutes. Navigation data would be off by tiny amounts. Done, said Ji-hoon after what felt like hours. Let's go. They met the rest of their team at the rendezvous point and made their way back to the transport ship. As they undocked from the station, Subin finally allowed herself to breathe normally. Did it work? Asked Colonel Taeyeon when they returned to the hidden base on Europa. Perfectly, said Ji-hoon. The virus is in their main command network. They won't notice it for weeks, maybe months. By then it will have spread to their entire system. And what will it do? Asked one of the other team members. It will make them doubt, said Subin. Doubt their data, doubt their orders, doubt each other. For an empire built on absolute trust in the chain of command. It will be like poison, finished Taeyeon. Slow but deadly. Meanwhile, on Mars and Europa, hidden human colonies continued building ships and weapons. Even if Earth fell, humanity would fight on. And somewhere in the vast reaches of space, a new player was about to enter the game. One that had been watching Earth's resistance with great interest. Ambassador Min So-han was working late in her office on Mars colony when the strange message arrived. It was not in any human language, but somehow her computer translated it. We admire your fight against the Telosians. We wish to talk. Look to the stars near Deimos tonight. Min-seo immediately called Colonel Taeyeon. Sir, I think we've been contacted by another alien species. That night, a small ship appeared near Deimos, Mars's smaller moon. It was unlike any Telosian vessel, sleeker, with soft blue lights instead of harsh white ones. A team led by Mincio and Captain Doyun met the ship at a secure dock in the Mars colony. When the door opened, the aliens stepped out. They were tall and thin, with violet skin and large eyes. They walked with grace that made them seem almost like they were floating. "I am Krell, ambassador of the Navarran people," said the lead alien. "We have watched your struggle against the Telosian Empire with great interest. Why show yourselves now?" asked Doyun, suspicious. "Because now you have proven you can hurt them," said Krell. "For 5,000 years, the Telosians have ruled our people. We were their first conquest, and none have successfully fought them until now." Mincio studied the aliens carefully. At 40, she had been Earth's top diplomat for space colonies before the invasion. "You want our help to break free," she said. It wasn't a question. "And we offer help in return," said Krell. "We know the Telosians better than anyone, their worlds, their fleets, their secrets." In a secure meeting room, the Navarrans shared their knowledge. The Telosian Empire controlled over 300 star systems and had dozens of subject species, but many of these species hated their rulers and only needed hope to rebel. "Your resistance has given them that hope," said Krell. "News of the Battle of Luna has spread, despite Telosian efforts to hide it. How can we trust you?" asked Doyun. Krell handed them a data crystal. "This contains the locations of all Telosian fleet bases in this sector. Give us weapons and ships, and we will strike at them from within the Empire." Colonel Taeyan studied the information. "If this is real, it changes everything." Over the next weeks, a careful alliance formed. The Navarrans taught humans about Telosian weaknesses that even years of fighting hadn't revealed. In return, humans shared their innovations. "Your technology is less advanced, but more creative," said a Navarran scientist, studying the human-modified Telosian engine. "We never thought to use it this way." The Navarrans explained why the Telosians were so rigid. Their empire had been stable for so long that change became seen as dangerous. Their schools taught obedience above all else. Their leaders feared new ideas more than enemy weapons. Meanwhile, Jihun's virus was working. Telosian ships were missing their targets. Officers were questioning orders, thinking they had been corrupted in transmission. The perfect trust that held their empire together was breaking down. When the Navarrans returned to Telosian space, they carried human weapons and, more importantly, human ideas. They contacted other subject species, the bird-like Avari, the crystalline Lith, and others, spreading the message: resistance is possible. Within 2 months, reports reached Earth of uprisings on 12 Telosian worlds. Grand Admiral Vexthor was forced to split his fleet to deal with these new threats, drawing ships away from Earth. "We've created a rebellion across the stars," Mincio told the Earth Council. "The Telosians are fighting on multiple fronts now, not just against us." "And our new allies?" asked President Toyo. "They fight differently than we do," said Mincio. "But they fight just as hard. The Navarrans have waited 5,000 years for freedom." For the first time since the invasion began, humans allowed themselves to hope not just for survival, but for victory. The Telosian Empire had never faced a challenge like this. Enemies who adapted, who broke rules, who inspired others to rebel. And in his command ship, Grand Admiral Vexthor finally began to wonder if the impossible might happen, if his perfect empire might fall. 3 years had passed since the Telosians first appeared above Earth. 3 years of fighting, adapting, and never giving up. Now, Fleet Admiral Doyun Kim stood on the observation deck of the Earth ship Victory *, watching the massive Telosian diplomatic vessel approach. "I never thought I'd see this day," said his second-in-command, Commander Youngmi-baek. "Neither did they," said Doyun with a small smile. The peace talks were being held in neutral space, near the orbit of Jupiter. On one side, the remaining forces of the Telosian Empire. On the other, the alliance of free worlds, humans, Navarrans, and 5 other former subject species. Grand Admiral Vexthor entered the meeting room first. He looked older than when Do-yun had first seen him 3 years ago. The perfect uniform was the same, but his posture showed defeat. "Admiral Kim," said Vexthor stiffly, "we are prepared to discuss terms." Around the large table sat representatives from both sides. Ambassador Min So-han led the diplomatic team, with Colonel Tae-yun and Dr. Suman as advisors. "The alliance proposes these terms," said Min So, sharing the document. "All subject worlds are granted independence. The Telosian Empire will retreat to its original home systems." Vexthor read the terms silently. "You are generous to the defeated," he finally said. "We don't seek to destroy your people," said Min So, "only to end your empire." The negotiations lasted for hours, but the outcome was never in doubt. The Telosian Empire had lost nearly half its fleet fighting on dozens of fronts. Shihum's virus had broken their command structure. Alliance ships, combining human ingenuity, Navaran knowledge, and Lith crystal technology, now matched Telosian vessels in combat. When the peace treaty was signed, a strange quiet filled the room. 10,000 years of Telosian rule had ended. As they left the meeting, Vexthor approached Do-yun privately. "There is something I must know," the Telosian said. "How did you defeat us? We had everything. Numbers, technology, experience." Do-yun looked at the alien who had once seemed like a god to him. "You had empires. We had grit," he said simply. "Your civilization perfected the art of ruling. Ours perfected the art of surviving against the odds." Vexthor considered this. "For 10,000 years, we believed that order and stability were the highest goals. We stopped changing because we thought we had reached perfection." "There is no perfection," said Do-yun. "Only adaptation." Later, as the Telosian ships departed for their home systems, Young-mi joined Do-yun on the observation deck. "What happens now?" she asked. Do-yun looked at the stars spreading out before them. Once, they had seemed impossibly far. Now they were the future. "Now," he said, "we build something better than an empire." In the months that followed, the alliance of free worlds grew stronger. Earth shared its technology with former subject species while learning from their ancient wisdom. Unlike the Telosians, the new alliance valued differences and new ideas. Human ships carried scientists and explorers to distant stars. Each species in the alliance contributed its unique strengths. The Navarans shared their art of navigation. The Lith offered their crystal technology. The bird-like Avari taught humans about winds and currents in space that their ships could ride. On Earth, Ambassador Ju Park welcomed delegations from 20 different worlds. What began as a war council was becoming a forum for cooperation. The Telosians never understood. She told President Tayo, "Strength doesn't come from control. It comes from diversity, from many minds thinking differently about the same problem." In his office at the new Space Academy, Colonel Tae-yun, now Admiral Tae-yun, trained cadets from 6 different species. "Remember this lesson," he told them. "It wasn't just our weapons that won the war. It was our ability to change, to think differently, to keep going when victory seemed impossible." A young Navaran cadet raised her hand. "Sir, what will we do if we meet another empire out among the stars?" Admiral Tae-yun smiled. "We'll show them that the future belongs to those who adapt, who cooperate, who never give up, no matter the odds." Across the galaxy, a new era had begun. Not an era of empires, but of explorers, innovators, and allies who valued each other's differences. And it all started because when faced with overwhelming odds, humans showed the galaxy what grit really means.